guys? It is the Brothers Geek Out podcast. Hope you guys have been all well and safe. Uh, where do we start, man? Episode 406. Loads happening, bro. Let's start this off, bro. I'm gonna let you take the lead, and I hope you guys have all been well. Massive thank you as always, supporting the channels. I know there's a lot of changes happening as well, guys, but I know you guys are listening in on the platform, which I'm grateful for. And you guys are interacting more on socials, which is really good. So I look bare bright on here. Let's change that up. But yeah, other than that, G-Man, how you been, bro?
Yeah, we good. Guys, just a reminder, do check the description. If you want to go straight to the Geek Out News, check the description. It'll be in there. So you don't have to listen to what we've been up to and our thoughts on real world issues and all that sort of stuff. But I've been good. I've been good, bro. Listen, busy week at work. As usual, just keeping busy. Haven't trained. Well, I've trained, but I haven't gone to the martial arts gym this week. And then yeah, I got this Punisher here, which I've been super excited
Yes.
about. So that's a new little addition. We head to Uzbekistan tomorrow, so I'm just finishing up work today and gonna go enjoy a vacation trip in Uzbekistan and just kind of get away from the reality of everything right now. But other than that, man, all good. Everything's all good, bro.
Cool, man. I mean, as you guys know, we got a format that we follow on the show as well. We talk about the real world stuff. So, guys, if you guys want to just listen to the pop culture side of things and the actual Geek Out session, then the link's in the bio. So just click on that part where it says Geek Out starts here, and you'll be able to just go straight to that part. If you're listening on the platform, you guys just have to forward it, guys. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't know where we start, bro, man.
I
It's
mean,
been a busy
I
week.
guess, yeah. I mean, we could get. Do you want to get into the world issue? I know you got
Yeah,
quite a
yeah,
lot.
let's
Like,
do
what do
that,
you
bro.
got things? Do you want to any updates? Any thoughts on your
I mean,
side? How you
nothing,
been?
nothing on our side, bro. We are. I've got both the kids today, so they're on half term. So I'm trying to work and do everything at the same time. Nothing much, guys. Like, not on my side anyway. I know. I've, I've just. It's been busy, bro. Work, fasting. I haven't been able to train either because of my knee. Laura, get out of the way. Uh, yeah. All right, go and get a chair. Uh, so it's just been busy, to be honest. It's trying to juggle everything at the moment now. It's trying to be realistic with timing. It's been full on, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, I'm not gonna lie. It's been full on. Yeah. What about you, bro? How you been? My
Yeah,
knee's recovering, so I will get back into training. But we know we got Eid celebration next week, so everybody who's been fasting, I hope you had a good fast. Make sure your prayers are going to the people of Palestine, Congo, Syria, Yemen, Sudan. Those they need our prayers, man, during this month. So do the best you can, guys, please.
yeah, exactly. I mean, look, let's get into it. With real world issues. I mean, still, what's going on in Palestine is heartbreaking. I don't know if this world's ever going to wake up. And it's heartbreaking that I don't know. I can't believe we're in this kind of world where, and I guess it makes sense, but the colonial powers still get away with everything. I mean, this week alone in one day, you know, that Israel managed to kill some what do you
Aid
call it,
workers, yeah.
aid workers from European countries. So they're killing Europeans now. They've managed to blow up a foreign, what do you call it, in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call those houses, man?
Embassy.
Embassies, I'm going blank. Embassy, and they're still bombing Gaza, killing children and whatnot. I mean, all in one day. There was something else, and they blocked Al Jazeera News because they're telling the real news on what's happening there or whatnot. They're trying to do that with TikTok. I mean, they can all get away with it, and they get away with it. The UN court asked for a ceasefire, was voted for ceasefire, and they didn't do nothing, and they can get away with it because they're colonial powers, and that's what's heartbreaking, that we're still in this world where we're still under the colonial powers, which is, people might not want to believe it. People might want to say, "Oh, we got to move on." How are you supposed to move on when colonial powers can just murder children and do whatever they want? International law don't mean shit anymore. Excuse my language. What's the point of international law? It don't mean nothing when a colonial power does it. But when Russia does it, oh, it's a big problem now. If any other country does it, it's a big problem. Man, if I was it's heartbreaking because you don't know what one of these other leaders might do. They might be like, you know what? International law don't mean nothing. Like Israel can get away with everything, so why don't we? And then they'll start doing some things as well. The Iranian, I think they killed an Iranian general or something in Syria. And the Iranian, I don't know who, but they was like, they're going to face consequences. Do you know how scary that is? I mean, they're literally starting World War III and they're literally getting away with it. And they literally want the US involved and the Western powers involved as well, the colonial powers involved in this war. And you know what's going to happen? If Iran strikes, the whole corporate media, the whole Western media will be like, oh, Iran struck, so we have to go to war, they're bad guys and all this sort of stuff. When clearly the news is out now where Israel's killing aid workers, they started it, they've been bombing Iran, they've been telling the US that you need to get involved and you need to fight Iran, literally getting the US involved. I mean, and the corporate media and all these people will eat it up as well. Look, a lot of people are opening up because of social media, but a lot of people will eat it up and be like, oh no, we have to get Iran. Look what they started after Israel's been bombing them or whatnot. I saw something which is and some other things that happened in some other censorship sort of stuff, like Candace Owens. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but she was on the Daily Wire. She had a show on the Daily Wire, which is basically a Israel propaganda media company. Anyway,
Yeah.
the Daily Wire is supposed to be there for like free speech and folks supposed to be there to be like, we're neutral media publication and whatever, right? Because they were upset with the whole, mainstream publications being one-sided and whatnot. So it was supposed to be one of those free speech ones. And then Candace Owens, because she decided to speak out of Israel or speak out on the atrocities that Israel's doing and the genocide in Palestine, they eventually fired her. So they basically gone against their word. But anyway, I was listening to something from Andrew Schultz, who's a comedian, but he's got really great thoughts. And he was just like, he goes, what did he say? He goes, it's interesting that in the UK and in US and in these Western countries, we are allowed to criticize our own governments and we get away with it. You don't get censored. Nothing happens to you. It's all good. But if you're in that Western country and you criticize a foreign government, which is Israel, you get censored. So really, or you get fired as well. So really, these corporate media companies, are you really a British or US corporate media company, or actually are you an Israeli corporate media company? Because how the hell can you criticize you can criticize your own government and nothing happens to you, don't get fired or whatnot. If you criticize Israel, a foreign government, everyone gets fired. And we see what happened. Martin Lamont Hill, Candace Owen recently, that Mehi guy that I keep forgetting his name, like loads of people. Politicians get fired just for saying free Palestine. Like, so who really owns the Western country? It's weird. So, but it's the heartbreaking thing is as they get away with it because they are colonizing. They're colonizers, man. That's it. Nothing's changed.
It hasn't, bro. They've just brought it out to the world now. And yes, as you said, social media has played a big part to opening up a lot of people. But it's it's going to change a lot of people's perception. The media have slowly started to turn as well, but the thing is, because it's controlled 100% by those people, the narrative is still going to be Muslims, you lose, basically. Islam, you lose, basically, and we'll get away with this. Nothing will happen. But what happened to those aid workers is horrible, bro, because there are some people that have absolutely flipped and was like, this ain't no mistake.
Have you
Like,
seen
that wasn't no mistake. Yeah,
pictures
bro.
are out. They were like kilometers away. It wasn't like one bomb that killed all of them. They were like a kilometer, 2 kilometers away from each other. It was three surgically struck rockets that hit those aid workers in three different cars in three different areas. So it wasn't a mistake. It was strategically done to murder them. And then what happened is the result is other aid workers are like, we can't send other aid workers into Gaza because it's too dangerous. And that's what their goal was, to starve the people. And this is not even the first time they've killed foreign aid workers. I mean, they've done it.
They've continued. Yeah.
There was one back in the days, I can't remember exactly when Norman Finkelstein was talking about it, where I think it was some Turkish aid workers that came on a ship with aid, and then that Israeli terrorist group went onto the ship and ended up killing everyone basically, and then made up a whole story about, oh, they attacked it. It was lies. I mean, they've done this so many times, man. They're literally, I don't care, man. I call it how it is. They are the T word. I shouldn't say the word because we're censored anyway, but you know, they are
They are they're gun ho at the moment, bro. They're just getting they're like what's the word yesterday I was using? Trigger happy. They've become trigger happy, bro. They're having a game, and them. I don't know where. It's weird, bro. You know, like when they were looking for Bin Laden. Yeah, listen. That's a whole different situation in itself. Yeah, they destroyed another country, the Americans. Yeah, but I feel like you know what? Even though, still, bro.
They did kill 1 million Afghanistanis, man.
Yeah, that's a million.
It was
Yeah.
big there, so we didn't really see that really,
No, we
because
didn't because we didn't have social media at that time. It wasn't that big,
it's where
and not
media
many. Yeah,
controlled everything. They didn't show. I only after I find out after that. But first of all, we all know now there was no weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
With Saddam or whatnot, all that sort of stuff. That whole region. So that's clear. That's facts or whatnot. And then they killed over 1 million Afghans, and I didn't know this until like listening to podcasts, and even Rogan talks about it and all that sort of stuff. Like I didn't know this, but again, mainstream media has never, not that I've ever reported that I know. Right, you know what I'm trying to say? So that's disgusting.
no, yeah. Listen, bro,
Colonizers. You know what?
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you. One more thing to say, like, we all think that these mainstream corporations are legit news, and we always say, oh, Russia and China and all these other countries, they have propaganda news. Yes, they do, and our corporate media is our propaganda news. Like, don't be fooled about what's real news and what's not. All countries have their propaganda news, and the ones that we listen to, the BBCs, the New York Times, all of these ones, they are propaganda for us. So stop thinking that they're legit. No, like they're all propaganda, including the ones in Russia and China. Everyone is. But I think these independent news sources, like again, the Mark Lamont Hill, the Breaking Point, Zetio, I think is the one from Mehdi Hassan. These are the ones, and there's so many more. Like these are the ones you've got to listen to. These are the ones that will give you the real news and whatnot. And that's why Israel's trying to block them. But it's just heartbreaking that they can get away with it, man. It's literally criminals of the world, man. I don't know. It's like I can't believe they could just get away with it like that. And that's what's heartbreaking. And these governments, our governments are allowing them to do it because they're a part of it. It's just a whole colonizing group of people. It's colonizers, man, and they're doing exactly what colonizers do. Just let everyone get away with it. So what happened in America? What happened in Australia? All the indigenous people, they're happy to kill them. So colonizers do what colonizers do. Anyway, bro, sorry, go on, you go.
No, that's fine, bro. Listen, there's so much going on, and it's heartbreaking. Guys, people that are like all forced into Rafah at the moment is insane, and now they're not even going to get proper aid properly. People with power ain't going to do nothing about it as well. So just have to wait and see, man. We can only do as much as we can. I was at the march over the weekend. Amazing to see so many people come together, but we're too late. And it's such a shame to say that. And I don't feel proud to say that either. We're too late. Too many people have died already. We're doing all this marching and the rest of it. It's never really changed much. The people in power are still doing the same shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I suppose I'm getting a bit negative about it as well, because the more I speak about it, the more I talk about it. I've been speaking to several people that seem to be fully brainwashed. I had a deep conversation with somebody who, they ended up deleting their comments, but some people just don't know. People try and tell me about me being a Muslim in the Western side and thinking that it's not my place to jump in. You guys are so wrong. You guys are so wrong. And we had a civilized conversation, but they took it to the next level. And that's how brainwashed a certain amount of people are. And the other side of the world, bro, because there are people that actually believe what the Israelis are saying. Not just the Israeli people themselves and what they've gone through, but the other side of the world as well and what they believe in the mainstream media. They were trying to tell me, bro, about me being a Bengali Muslim growing up on this side of the country, that it shouldn't be something that I should stand up for and not stand up. It's not my place to get involved. And I was like, I can't believe you're saying that. And you're like this white person. Like, how brainwashed are you? And like bro, some of the stuff they said in that in the process was gut wrenching to read. Was gut wrenching to read. So there are people out there that believe that we are on this jihadi business, and it's such a shame they've come to that point. And Western media have done that, bro. But yeah,
Propaganda,
listen,
that's
bro.
exactly what it is. It is propaganda. It's Western media
And
propaganda.
it's worked, bro. It's worked because
It
for
has for
somebody
a
to
lot of
be that
people.
brave to say that and to put it in that sort of context, it's such a shame, bro. But there's only so much I can do before like people are saying I'm getting consumed with it. Why wouldn't you be consumed?
Okay. Cool. I mean, look, I do think we have to manage our mental health because I do watch the same thing. My wife tells me all the time that I'm watching it. I constantly talk about it. And we have to manage. I mean, and that's selfish to say because what they're going through in Gaza is thing. But we do have a responsibility, whether your platform's big or small, of spreading the message. I don't care. Sitting back and saying nothing. Listen, everyone has their individual thing, but for us, I don't think it's right for us to sit back and say nothing because injustice is happening in the world. That's facts. Thing is, like I say, any innocent person that dies from any part, any side or whatnot, it has to be spoken about, like because they're innocent people. But when but if you could justify, if you make it, I don't know, in my head, if you justify 34,000 or 34,000 people dead, 15,000 children, 14,000 children, whatever it is, I mean that number, people are just looking at his number. If you anyway kind of justify it and you're cool with it, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you when you're cool with that, when you're okay with that. I mean, like I say, I keep saying this, you could be pro-Israel, but you can also say, well, listen, man, I want my country to exist, but we can't kill children and people. Like, we can't do that. That's wrong. You can easily say it. You can also easily be there and call for a ceasefire and put pressure on the put pressure on the government and boycott and all that sort of stuff. You could do that as well as love your country. But the moment you're like, nah, it's cool that the kids are dying and thousands of people are dying, we should kill. That's evil. That is evil, man. It doesn't matter who's doing it. And the fact is, because it's colonizing powers doing it right now, the world is okay, or the Western world and the corporate media is okay with it. Yeah, they put a bit of pressure, but really nothing's gonna happen. They're okay with colonizing powers doing what colonizers do. We're not supposed to be in that day and age no more, but we are. And they still think that, again, brown people, black people, Muslim people, people on the outside of the Western world, Russians, China, they're savages, they're barbarians. We're all barbarians and savages because we don't live civilized. Who the hell is colonizing who in 2004? And we're supposed to be the savages and the barbarians. Like, who's colonizing who? Like it don't stop. And it's wrong, man. I mean, bro, it could go into World War III. You know how scary that is. You know how scary they want Iran to get involved. They want Iran. They've been bombing Lebanon and Iran and Syria and all these countries because they want a regional war. And then the US they want the US involved. I mean, how scary is that, man? We don't want war. And these people want it, man. It's disgusting. These murderers, these evil people on the planet. And how scary is war, man, for everyone, even the civilians of Israel. Like, you're really putting your own civilians in danger because you
They
want.
are, they are. That's what I'm saying because they're putting their own people in danger. I don't know what they're thinking, bro. I don't know what they're thinking. It's weird, bro. I
Colonizers
feel
don't
like
think.
as I said, like they've gone gun ho, they've gone trigger happy. They'll have other countries support them because they've got a chokehold on them. They've got this chokehold on
And
them,
that's a
bro.
strange thing. How is this one small nation have such a chokehold on the biggest superpower in
Trust
the
me,
world,
bro.
which is the
It's
US?
insane,
How?
bro. There's
Crazy.
something they've got against them. Honestly, that's all I'm thinking about is they've got him in a chokehold, bro. And now they're using Diddy as the MJ to cover up. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
MJ's not around no
interesting.
more.
Yeah, yeah. How
You know?
crazy is that?
They're
That Diddy
using
stuff
Diddy, bro.
happening.
Diddy got it. It was like, sorry, Diddy, we're gonna have to
It's
get
your
you involved. Cover up,
time.
man. Take that, take that, take that. You know what I mean? They got Diddy covering up, doing some random ass things at the moment, but they're just using it as front page. You know, these aid workers that brutal, absolutely brutal, and another cover up for what will happen at Al Shifa Hospital, where people are getting executed and they absolutely destroyed this medical center, and they don't have nothing in Gaza at the moment. So the people are still there,
Crazy.
though. That's one
I'm
thing I'm gonna say
assuming.
about the Palestinian people are
Oh
resilient,
yeah.
bro, and they're still there, bro. You could take everything away from them. They've gone through it. They've endured enough. They know what they have to do. But the problem is the world. needs to be not so split up. We're not going to come together, bro. We've already been casted in different places, and that's the problem. And as you said, that cannoli, you know, colonialism and separation, you know, that's systematically taught, bro. So
Oh, yeah, without a
we're in for
doubt.
a long ride, and if war does kick off, you know, most of us know why it kicked off. Most of us, hopefully, most of us.
Listen, it'll be a part listen, man, when they talk about wrong side of history, right now they are, and in the future they're gonna acknowledge, oh, we were wrong, but you know, that was history. Like they done with, you know, the African Americans in America, like they done with the natives in America, all that stuff. They talk about it now. Oh, it was wrong, but it was a time. And that's what they're gonna say. Oh, it was we're in the most technologically advanced, civilized time of the human existence. And they're going to talk about, oh, it was back then, or we, you know, things were different then. What's different? There's international law, there's technology, you know, but they're going to get away with it because they're colonizers. Simple as that. They're colonizers, they're colonizing powers, and they got the backing of the biggest superpower in the world, which is US. But you know, you do have other governments like Spain saying that by July we will recognize Palestine as a and these things are positive. And all countries need to do that, but they all need to gang up against the US and say, like, and with the law, again, no one's starting war except the colonizers. But I think that's what I'm going to call it from now on, right? Because everyone will
Yeah,
know what. No one's starting the war except them. Think about it. Iran hasn't struck back. Syria, Yemen. Well, Yemen's ready to go. They've been ready to go from day one, but they haven't actually struck Israel. You know what I mean? Or the colonizers, sorry. So this is what I'm trying to say. They're ready to go, but if you think about it, who's the peaceful ones? Who's not the ones going out like, screw it, we're going to war? They're the ones holding back as much as possible, right? And the other colonizers are the ones that are constantly bombing them, like trying to entice them to get in. And as soon as they get involved, you know what's going to happen. Like I said, the corporate media is going to be like, oh, they attacked randomly, we need to go to war now, and that's what's going to happen. Straight colonizing, propaganda, and whatnot. But it goes to show you who really is the murderers, who is the colonizing T words. That's the heartbreaking thing, man. We're in this day and age that this is happening. We're in this. But anyway, guys, we got to keep talking about it. It's important. Who cares about being shadow banned and whatnot? It doesn't matter. We have to keep talking about it, guys. Donate, spread the message, use your platforms if you can to just put some awareness out there because this is some injustice going on, and it's important for us to speak. And again, all innocent lives are precious. Doesn't matter what side they're from, and we want to save future innocent lives from being hurt, and that goes for the innocent people of Israel because their lives could be put in danger because of their colonizing government and whatnot. So their lives are being put in danger, and that's not fair on them. That's why there's a lot of protests going on in Israel to get that guy out of presidency. But the prime minister, that Yahoo, he knows that as soon as he stops the war, he's done. So that's why he's carrying on this war and trying to expand it as much as possible. Otherwise, as soon as he stops, he's done. And his people, they're not his people, the Israeli people, they're speaking out against him and whatnot. Now, it doesn't mean that the occupation and whatnot, the long-term thing, the occupation of Palestine, that needs to end. They need to be seen as their own state. They need to have their own rights, their own equal rights, and they need to have, you know, their own airports and land and sea and all that sort of stuff. And then this is all done, but they're not looking to have that happen. They're not looking to give them what they want. It's heartbreaking. It's man, I can't believe it. Every week, it's like they call for a ceasefire, and things get worse, and everyone just sits back and does nothing. I just can't believe that they're allowed to get away with everything. And really, that's the heartbreaking thing. The world is allowing them to get away with things, and that's the heartbreaking. I can't believe that's happened. We're in that day and age.
No, of course,
Super
bro.
brilliant.
And the thing is, we're gonna have to keep rooting and pushing it along in the agenda. But the problem is, the government are not scared of the people, bro. They haven't been in decades, and I think that's where things need to change. Is that the government need to be scared of their people, and they're not, bro. There's thousands of us marching across the world, bro. There's no change. 7 months, no change. So I feel like we're too late. It's appalling what's happening, but it's a shame, you know. But all of them guys in power are puppets anyway. Greed and all the rest of it takes over. There's different agendas. There's stuff that we won't know because that's the darker part of the world, right? Uh, like I'm not voting no more, bro. I'm done. We haven't had no change with voting. Voting doesn't do anything for us general working folks. Why am I voting for? Why have we got these idiots running this country? And I feel like it's weird how things are timed, bro, and what sort of idiots we have in power, and what sort of because he can never connect to me. So Richie Sunak and all them people in power, David Cameron, all them, you won't connect to me. I know the Conservatives have uh, put this country to shit ever since they came into power, and for decades, bro. Well, this country seems to be losing. While other countries seem to be thriving, we are losing badly, and it's lost their people, bro. Why you think people don't vote, bro? Because everyday folk, it don't make no difference. Everyday folk don't make no difference. Anyway, let's continue, bro. Guys, please support the channel in any way possible. I mean, the donations, guys. Check out the charity. Sorry, I'm a bit off today. Yeah, just go to our pages and support the people. Palestine really need us right now.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Check, donate, aware, and check. Like I say, check. I know we just give our thoughts, but do check independent news sources, Breaking Points, Martin One Hill, Zateo. Check those out. You have to. It's important. Anyway, look, man. Let's move on. Let's move on. There was some more sad news this week. We lost a few people in the world that we love talking about. Firstly, we lost Louis Gossett Jr. Now he's an old school actor, and now if you look at some of his movie collection, there's some old school movies. Some of them we might not be familiar with, but reason why I'm familiar with it because he was in the original Punisher with Dolph Lundgren back in 1989. So he's an old school actor from back then. Some of the other movies that you might be familiar, Jaws, done,
Excuse me, sorry.
some other movies with Dolph Lundgren called Cover Up. I mean, these won't be mainstream medias, man. El Diablo in 1990. What else he might be in? He was in The Watchmen, 2019, the show. But yeah, listen, he like I said, because I know him from the old Punisher, just wanted to say condolences to him and to his family, sorry. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Another classical actor. He won an Oscar. I can't remember what movie it was for.
He was in Enemy Mine. Enemy
That's
Mine.
it. Yes.
Well?
Yeah. Yes, with Dennis Quaid. Really good movie. Sorry, guys. Full on distractions this morning. Apologies for that. Yeah, no, he's got an amazing catalog of movies, and you know, he's a big part of cinema, man. And during that era as well of having black actors in the screen, having that FaceTime on there as well, you know, he plays a big part. So may he rest in peace, rest in power, and sending prayers and love to his family and friends.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. Someone else who passed away, he was very young, Chance Perdomo. For me, he was mostly known for one of the characters in Gen V, and he passed away. He had a motorbike accident. He was very young, man. I believe he was 1996. We're talking about 1996. What's the maths, man? 20, 28, 20, something like that. 28. I mean, 27. I mean, it's heartbreaking, very young motorbike accident. I mean, you know, it's dangerous, those things, man. I mean, I guess being on the road is dangerous. But again, rest in peace. Condolences to his family. I know, like, you know, other things came out saying that they're going to put Gen V season 2 on hold and all that sort of stuff. But it's sad news. Very young actor with a lot of prospect, and a lot would have happened for him, you know, in the future. But I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know the details of the accident, but it's very heartbreaking that such a young person passed away. But
no, listen, man. Again,
rest in peace.
I didn't watch Gen V, but yeah, young age to go through that. Yeah, that's hot. heartbreaking, man. So, again, rest in peace, prayers to friends and family. He must have been. How was he in the show? Like, what was he
It
like?
was it was great. It was good. It was one of the main characters in the show.
Yeah.
What the hell was his powers again? I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. Oh no, his powers were I can't remember. Anyway, obviously he was a big part. It was a big part of the show. He was great in the show. And not seeing him in season 2 is going to be kind of impactful. And obviously they're going to have to whatever they do. I don't know. But that will be impactful. But yeah, shame, such a shame. Man, rest in peace.
No, yeah, again, rest in peace as well. Such a shame at such a young age. When I do get the chance to watch it, I'm sure.
Yeah, you need to. If before
Yeah.
you watch Boys season 4 or 5, whichever one's coming out, you need to watch it. It's all connected, which is fun.
No, definitely. I will check it out, man. I
Cool.
will definitely check it out.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's move on to things we watched. X-Men 97. I haven't seen episode 4 yet. Have you seen it? I'm gonna watch it later. Have you seen it?
Which one?
Episode 4?
Yeah, bro. I saw it yesterday. Really good. Listen, man.
No, no, no
They.
spoilers, no spoilers. I mean, like, I'm gonna watch it later. We didn't discuss episode 3 last week, right? Because you didn't watch
No,
it.
I didn't watch it. Yeah.
So should we talk about episode 3?
Yeah. Let's go for it, man. Yeah, definitely. No, it's really good, man. Surprisingly, uh, they keep up in their game, but it was Episode 3 was very interesting in where they're heading and how they've connected it so well, bro. Like from anybody who's a comic book fan to anybody who's a fan of the cartoons to know what's happening and the way they've kind of put it together. It's very good. Alara, please. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, and they got involved Mr. Sinister, who we knew was going to be the big bad in this series. And Cable with Bishop going back in time.
Oh
I mean,
man,
he's
that
got the disease. I
was
mean, it all just kind of like it just man, they're connecting it so well with Cable's disease coming from Mr. Sinister. That he's gonna, that the cure will be there's no cure for now, so he has to go in the future, and it's this technological disease, and that links to all apocalypse and all that sort of stuff as well, right? I mean, it's so good. I mean, like, I can't wait to watch episode 4. Don't say nothing. I wish I didn't have time to watch it, but I'll watch it after this. I'm just so excited about it, man. I really think for me it's the most funnest thing to watch on TV right now. For me, in my opinion, there's so much good things to watch, but there's something about this that just brings back such a childhood to me. It just makes me smile as I watch it. Um, and last week's episode with episode 3 with Jean Grey, the clone and whatnot. I mean, but what gives me goosebumps is the action scenes, man. The action scenes when they tag team and they, when Bishop's telling Cyclops, like, charge me up. Like, bro, these little choreographed action scenes are just give me goosebumps, man. I
they've
think
got so
it's
much better, and I think they've taken proper inspiration from the comic books. I felt like what they did with the original series is they dialed down on that, and animation didn't come to a point where it could be so dramatic and choreographed so well. And now, looking at comic book source material and trying to bring that onto the big screen, they've been able to do that. And the team ups and what we've seen in the MCU, they've been able to do that here. And it's been, bro, the animation is sick and team ups have been really good. That was a good episode. I was emotional, man, for Nathan Summers as well and what he was going through. It was heartbreaking. Scott Summers, in that scene where he was like, what it was like to feel abandoned. But my guy still walked away. It's an epic fail move, man. Why you walk away for, man? Anyway.
like, yeah, that was deep because he was abandoned by his father, who was, what was his name? Star Fox or something? I can't remember his name. But anyway,
Yeah. I remember. Yeah,
was it
Star
Star
Fox.
Fox?
So Star
I
Lord,
think
not
that's his
Star Lord,
name.
Star Fox. Yeah, something like that. You're
Something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
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 I think he walked away because he knew. He knew because his son was gonna die. There was no cure, so he had to go back in time or go in the future, sorry, with Bishop to get the cure. So it was kind of like a thing that he had no choice but to abandon his son. I can't wait. I hope they do it, but I can't wait for the Cable reunion. If they do it, that
Mm.
would be amazing. But yeah, guys, yeah, awesome. I don't know what else to say about the show. It's just too good.
No,
It's
it's
too
really good, bro. I'm thoroughly enjoying the show. It's a nice travel back in time moment for us.
good. Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm enjoying it definitely.
Cool. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to some other stuff we watch. Because I know you got called in 20 minutes. So I watched a film called Shirley, which came out on Netflix. And
Yeah.
it's based on in 1972, the first ever Black Congresswoman, Shirley Chisholm, launched a trailblazing campaign to become the president of the United States. I didn't even know about it. So obviously, this is why I appreciate these movies, because they're just little fractions of history. I had no idea that there was a black woman that tried to run back in the 70s, back in 72, when things were a
Mm.
lot easier. So anyway, it's worth checking if you want to see a little piece of history. I can't comment on how accurate it was based on real history because I've researched a lot and whatnot. But it's starring Regina King, Lance Reddick is in it. Rest in peace to him.
Mm.
Lucas Hedge. I believe that's probably Lance Reddick's last appearance. Terrence Howard's in it. Brian Stoke Mitchell. It's a great, in a sense, it's a great movie if you want to get a piece of history on that, because I was very unaware of that.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I would say check it out. Right, moving on. I watched a comedy called Ricky Sneaky, right, which got shitted on. Oh, excuse my language. But it got completely destroyed. Starring John Cena and what's his name?
Zac
Can't say
Efron?
Zac Efron. Bro, the movie's jokes, bro. I don't know. I know it's a comedy movie. It's a silly movie or whatever. It was hilarious. I found it to be hilarious. I think
Yeah.
John Cena. Listen, I know I've criticized him in the past of his acting for like when he was in Bumblebee and whatnot. As a comedy, I think he's great. I think that's his element. I don't know. I
Yeah. Yeah.
can't see him being in a serious movie. I mean, maybe one day he'll do it. He'll prove me wrong or whatnot. But I just can't see him in serious. Like I don't know. His acting in comedy is perfect. He is hilarious. That movie was jokes, bro. If you want
Yeah.
to watch a fun comedy movie, watch Ricky Sinicki on Amazon
Yeah.
Prime.
Cool.
Honestly, I'm not joking. I really enjoyed it. Some of the scenes just bust me up, and some of the concept of some of the concept that he spoiler alerts a little bit, but he's basically this guy in Atlanta, and one of his shows are basically taking classic tunes and then talking about and turning them into masturbation, basically. I don't want to say other rude words. I'm trying to use a scientific word if that's the right word. But it's just hilarious the way he changes the song lyrics into that. Busted me. Literally bust me up. Funny movie, man. If you want to watch a fun comedy movie, obviously no kids or whatnot can watch it, but it's absolutely hilarious. I recommend it. Ricky Sneaky. I also watched a movie called Sisu. Did you watch that, bro? The John Wick in
No, no, no.
John,
What was that like?
basically it's like John Wick in the Nazi time. John Wick killing Nazis, bro. It was, bro, good. It's good. It's basically based in like World War II times. There was this Russian, I think it was like a Russian or Hungarian or something soldier that just doesn't die,
Yeah.
literally. And the way he viciously, and he's like a gold miner now, and the way he viciously kills these Nazis, it's like literally John Wick back then. It's mad, like it's mad. It's definitely worth watching if you love John Wick and you're happy to see a great action movie with just crazy action and just him killing Nazis. It's definitely a fun watch. It's definitely a fun watch. It's freaking awesome.
No, definitely. I'll check that out. I've seen it on there. It's one on the list, bro. Hopefully I
Yeah.
get to see that soon.
Fun movie. You don't have to think about nothing much, but just enjoying the action for what it is. You don't have to criticize it for, oh, how come he don't die? I mean, he's known to be, and you know what? It's crazy. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. There's this historical, I think it was British or someone, soldier who's known that didn't die. And when I say he didn't die or can't die or whatnot, my guy got his hands blown off, his balls blown off, he's got shot in the back of the head. All these sort of things happened to him, and he just didn't die. And this guy kept
Mm.
on going back into war and whatnot. That's actually a true story about a true soldier.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's based on him, but there are some people who are just that, I don't know, some different thing.
That is
Anyway,
that.
no, seriously. Sisu, check it out,
See
guys. Fun
it.
action
Yeah.
movie. John Wick killing Nazis. Put it that way, in that sort of vibe. And the
Okay.
last thing I've been got back into, man, there was this show called Tokyo Vice that I started watching when I was in Singapore. And then I remember I stopped watching it because the actor I was using at the time was it didn't have subtitles, so a lot of it is in Japanese. Episode 2, 3, and whatnot, they didn't have subtitles. So I couldn't watch it. But now I got back on it because I using other sources and whatnot. It's got subtitles back on that show, so I'm excited to watch that.
Cool.
Physical 100, I finished watching that. Such a great show. I mean, a great reality show, especially if you're into fitness and all that sort of stuff. It's amazing to just see the challenges they put together and the stuff that they have to endure, like the mental fortitude to just kind of go through and push through some of these challenges. It's great that they get athletes from all kinds of athletic, you know, from ping pong to freaking MMA to CrossFit to skiing to rowing to rugby, whatever it is. They get them involved, and it's just fun to see them go against each other in that sort of thing. So I do recommend that show as a fun reality physical show to watch. That's it for myself. Have you seen anything you want to talk about?
Listen, bro, I saw Roadhouse. I don't think they should have called it Roadhouse, to be honest. Conor McGregor did annoy me, but it was the character he was playing. He was like this the whole movie, bro.
Yeah, that's the way he walks.
Like he just played himself, and it's like, listen, props to him, man. You know, I'd be excited to be in my first Hollywood movie, and you know, to have it connected, well, to a classic movie. It just didn't have, for me, like it's a good action film. It just didn't have the same heart that Patrick Swayze's one had. You know, Patrick Swayze was uh polite. He didn't resort to violence only if he had to. You know, he fixed the business internally, which is amazing to see. And then they had this nice little romance story and his best friend that, you know, got him into what he's doing. And, you know, it has, the original has this charm and cheesiness and fun one-liners that I absolutely can rewatch. With Jake's one and this version, you know, there nothing really stuck out for me. Like as a good action film to sit back and watch, Jake is always good to watch on the screen, but he did have this grin on his face that really kind of, this is the first time for me personally, Jake kind of annoyed me in a row. He was Mr. Smiley. You know, there's a line in there where they call him Mr. Smiley, which is cool. Interesting what they did with some of the action scenes. Interesting the changes they made to the story, but they took the heart away of that story, I think, and I think it's done really well. People have really enjoyed it, which is cool. It lost the heart that the original one had. The original one had so much heart, bro, and I feel like this didn't bring that heart in it. It didn't make me care for the bar, the road, you know, the roadhouse. It didn't make me care because in the other one they made us care because it changed people's lives and perceptions. You know, this movie is a straight ripoff with their changes involved in there. And there are moments where I felt like, it's all right, but Jake's really good with his performances. You know, man got stacked for this, bro. He looked awesome, bro. And I like the pain that he carried through that movie. It just didn't. It would have been nice to connect with him more. The reason why I think Patrick Swayze's one worked really well was we didn't know anything about him, and that was the mystery of that character. Dalton was. I miss that, bro. I miss that element of mystery. I don't need to know where this guy has come from and why he wants to be such a nice guy, you know, because it's exactly the Seven Samurai story. The guy comes to an area, helps some people out, fixes all the issues, moves on to the next town. And this didn't have that heart, bro. And it was a bit much. Sorry, Eli? In a bit,
Yeah.
2 minutes. Okay.
I think that they changed that heart and like kind of turned it to humor, because this had like a bit of humor there. The character who was quite funny. There were certain characters, even the main sort of villain had this comedic thing about him or whatnot. So I think they kind of changed it to that. It was like an action, almost like an action comedy.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Action
whereas the
comedy.
original one, yeah, you're right, it had a lot more heart. The little romance they had, he was emotional when his best friend was murdered in the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
It was more
It
serious.
just felt like had
And
more of a motive of
yeah,
what he did.
and those gangsters at the end, he had a motive to end up killing them. Like really, just and even the whole town was against the gangsters in the first one. And if you remember the original one, sorry, the the whole Tower gang, they just needed Patrick Swayze to kind of lead them into killing that dude, I guess, or just taking that organization down. Whereas this one, I know it did seem like the town was against them, but it just felt like there wasn't much of them kind of getting together to take the bad guys down. It was more, yeah, it was more between. I would say that ended up being between Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal's character, than the actual main villain, yeah, main gangster. Do you know what I mean? Like in the
Yeah.
original one, Patrick's like the Conor McGregor type character who was like that bodyguard that was called out. Like Swayze kills him before he goes to the main dude.
Yeah.
One, McGregor kills the main sort of villain, right? And then you know what I mean. So it was more between McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal than the actual gangster sort of thing. The actual gangster's the bad guy. He's the one causing the issue. He's the one trying to take the land and all that sort of stuff, for reconstruction and all that stuff. But it just felt like McGregor was the main villain. He was the main bodyguard. Should have kept it that way. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so
What else you watch?
that's it, bro. I haven't watched no TV, nothing in the past week. It's been busy. I'm trying to catch everything while I'm working and looking after these two as well. So they're on holiday, so nothing. I don't think anything till after Ruza and Eid, maybe get some time back, but nothing at the moment, bro. We had a couple of screenings come up, but I'm gonna give them a miss. But we should have a fun packed end of April, beginning of May. We've got loads of things happening. Plus, guys, I did some interviews. I think it was last week. Excuse me, last week with the cast and the director of Snack Shack, which is a comedy that's coming out to Paramount Plus. It was great to catch up with them. It's a great, fun coming of age movie. Good comedy as well. Good comedy. It's based in Nebraska and it's about these two kids that rent a snack shack near a swimming pool, and during the summer holidays, people go to swimming. It's near a swimming pool, like one of those resorts, and they make money. They're like these little entrepreneurs, but there's some really good. It's a good fun watch. I watched that last week. That's what another movie that I watched. So the interviews will come out very soon once I get to the go with Paramount. So yeah, absolutely awesome. That was great. But yeah, that's about it, bro. Not much,
Awesome.
man.
All right, well, let's move on to some other quick news and then we'll finish off with retro movie reviews. The MCU, real quick, some great picks have been coming out with Punisher and Daredevil. Oh my God, of course, being a Punisher fan, as you can obviously see, that made my day. John Bethany was just perfect. The pictures that we saw, I don't know what else to say. It makes me smile. I can't wait. I can't wait. That is my most anticipated for next year, I guess. This year will be, the X-Men, Deadpool. Next year it's gonna be that, man. It's coming out 2025, right? I mean,
Yeah.
oh God, he looks so good. I just want to see Punisher back on the big screen, and I hope it's the Punisher. And I think it will be, but after what we saw in Echo, I think it will be similar to what we saw before. So I can't wait. It's gonna be so good. So that's been a proper geek out moment for me this week, man. Just all Punisher, man. I got this Punisher statue for my birthday. They released pictures of John Berthel as the Punisher. I feel like
It
that
looks
was
awesome.
all time towards my birthday just to say birthday G. So that's awesome. The other Marvel news that I saw was Marvel Studios casted Emmy-winning actress Julia Garner.
Yeah, she's from Ozark, right?
From Ozark. Yeah, I mean, she's absolutely amazing. But apparently to play a version of Silver Surfer or Silver Surfer. So this whole thing about Silver Surfer being a female character and all that stuff, I think it looks like they might be moving forward with that. I don't know what kind of heat that's just going to take. Again, the audience have spoken. I mean, listen, man, if you do it right, there's no issue, but sometimes it's hard, man. I mean, look, Silver Surfer, I think Glenn was talking about it from what's that podcast? Why have I gone
What
blank?
heroes do.
What heroes do, that's it. Also, we go, listen, at the end of the day, Silver Surfer's an alien, and it doesn't really have,
Agenda,
parts.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really have parts, so really it could work. I'm like, you know what? That's a good point. It's a good point. But Silver Surfer always has been portrayed in a male physique with a male voice. So it has, it's gonna, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. If they say it's a version of Silver Surfer, maybe there could be multiple ones. I don't know. It'll be an interesting take. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't want to see it. There is a little bit of me like, can you just keep things how they are for now? And because you guys have been flopping. The fact is, the Marvel Studios you've been flopping. Because you keep changing things and keep trying to throw these agendas out there without really putting a good script together, without really building a good character base. So it's kind of like, if you're going to keep doing that, you're going to keep losing. But if you give us good characters, then we'll accept it. So anyway, that was that on the MCU. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so listen, there's a counterpart of Silver Surfer, which was a female version. I think her name was Shia.
Yes,
Shia Balfour, I can't remember. But if they go with that, that'd be interesting. But bro, listen,
sorry.
we're at a time I don't know.
You just said it. Sorry. I didn't even read that part out. I completely went blank. It is supposed to be Shalabal, which is his love interest, right? And he does all of this for her. To save his world and to save his love, he becomes Galactus's. Oh, so you know what, bro? Everything I just said, ignore that. Delete what I just said because I didn't even read the full thing properly. That makes more sense. Yeah. Okay.
If they go with that, that's fine. Like that's comic book.
It's fine. Yeah.
But if they change the character, then that's where it will cause complications with the rest of the world. But it should be fine, bro. Let's see what they do.
Shalabel, but listen, man, I didn't even read that, and I spoke completely out of turn or whatnot. Let's that'll be perfect. That'll be perfect. Let's move on. Quickly, other movie news. Keanu Reeves teaming up with Fisher Stevens to produce a documentary on kickboxer Benny the Jet Apides coming out next year. Legendary kickboxer Benny the Jet Apides. I first known him from obviously the Jackie Chan movies, Rules of Mills, Dragons Forever. But he's obviously a legit kickboxer world champion. And they're making a documentary with Keanu Reeves. I mean, I don't know if Keanu Reeves is teaming up with people. So it's a documentary of Benny the Jet. So that's going to be definitely one to watch. I hope, they talk about, obviously they're going to talk about his kickboxing career and everything. I hope they talk about his movies with Jackie Chan. I hope they get Jackie Chan involved in this because that would be pretty awesome as well. I feel like with those movies, because kickboxing, sport like kickboxing and whatnot it's not big back then, especially it wasn't televised much. Even to this day, kickboxing is not televised much. You really got to search for it and whatnot. So especially back then. So I feel like being in those Jackie Chan movies helped with his publicity. So looking forward to that one.
Yeah, listen, bro, that'd be good. That'd be great to get more on that, Daddy. I don't know what you're doing. All
right. Quickly, video games. They're looking to do Max Payne remake, so that'd be awesome. Max Payne was such
okay, cool. Yeah, Max Payne was wicked.
So hopefully with the technology there, that'll be awesome. So just a quick one on that. And then, all right, let's finish off with retro movie reviews. And this week, we're going to talk about Neverending Story 1984, a classic retro movie. Listen, watching that as an adult, bro, it completely changes the perspective. I haven't seen it in years. And to be honest with you, bro, before we get into all the character design and all the imagination behind it, I didn't really know that the Nothing was about people's imaginations. It was people losing, but the book was basically talking about humanity losing creativity and imagination and all that sort of stuff. And the Nothing was taking away everyone's creativity and imagination and everything.
Yes.
I honestly, that's how long it's been since I've seen it. And as a kid, I probably didn't understand it. So seeing it as an adult, I was like, oh, that's deep. I didn't even know that, man. And then if you watch the whole movie, obviously it's a fantasy movie. The imagination of all the characters, the rock biter and then the snail racer and all that sort of stuff, it is amazing. And then it's one of those movies, and I don't know if this was done before that, where it speaks to the audience. Because it's a never-ending story. It's the story that Sebastian leads, and we're watching Sebastian's story, so it's a never-ending story for us as well. So it speaks to the audience as well. Bro, the movie is obviously fantastic. The soundtrack's amazing. What they also did was, I mean, I don't know how these movies did it back then, but they were able to do such a great job of character building from the beginning. I mean, I cried about Artax dying. And you know when you watch the movie, bro, it's between like within 15 minutes of meeting Atreus and Artax to Artax dying in that swamp. And you're already like, oh my God, it's like one of the most heartbreaking moments as a kid. And even as an adult, I felt emotional. And I was like, you made me love this horse within 15 minutes. Like, how did you do that? They were so good on how they built characters back then. And all the character design, obviously, this wasn't CGI, right? Amazing how they done, you know, the character design, and whether it was like models or costumes or whatever, it was absolutely fantastic. But this movie is just brilliant. Honestly, I watching it again, you go back and you're like, damn, this was a fantastic movie. But I loved it. I loved it. There's so much things I picked up watching it again, compared to, you know, watching it as a child.
Timeless classic, bro. That scene with Artax is probably one of the most devastating scenes ever, bro. There's actually a behind the scene footage of you see the cast and crew. Bro, everybody was crying. Everybody was crying when they were trying to film that scene. He was like, you know, Artax really brought himself into that element of losing that character, and even the horse as well. Like they were bawling, bro. Bro, emotional
Atreus,
scene.
the kid who
Emotional.
plays Atreus,
Atreus, yeah.
he done it so good.
Yeah.
He was so good. Fantastic actor. What happened to him?
But as you said, bro, imagination, you know, is key. And I think that's what movies don't have anymore. The never-ending story, bro, is going to be a timeless classic, and that's going to go on for ages, bro. But it's the underlining silver lining message in there, bro. You know, creativity, you know, some people lose it, and it's not about losing it. It's about where you could move it forward and take it further from there, basically. So I absolutely adore that movie, and even Sebastian's journey in that, you know, with the loss of his mother,
Mother,
and
yes, yes,
you know
yes, yeah.
the love he's not getting from his father, and that you know these books are keeping his imagination going, bro. It's a beautiful story, bro. Beautiful.
So I feel like this story that he was reading was almost like grievance for his mother,
Yeah,
and he had to name the empress and whatnot at the end. I can't remember what he named her, but I don't think it was his mother's name or whatnot.
I think it was
But
his mother's name.
I think it might have been his mother's name.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it was his mother's name.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was that. It was him grieving through that process, and these books took him away from that help. It was almost like a therapy session, and the
yeah, bro.
journey
Massive.
of him. Like Atreus was obviously a portrayal of him, right? Going through this journey and of you know of his imagination and whatnot. So beautiful. And then the luck dragon, which was amazing. The voice acting, like when you watch it, like the character design is really awesome, bro. It's really
So
good.
good, bro. Even in the Swamp of Sadness, the Big Turtle. You know, you look at this grand scale of what they did to bring this story to life, and you're like, bloody hell, that is amazing. You know, you look back at movies like, you know, Ridley Scott's Legend with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry as the, you know, Satan himself, bro, and you look at the scale of it. You look at the production of how it looks, and because it looks tangible, bro. Honestly, it looks tangible. I can touch it. I can feel it. You know,
Mm.
that's what makes me connect to that. Is that this is, bro. Even the wolf, bro. Even though that was
Mm.
animatronics and all the rest of it, that looks scary, bro, and it looked real.
Yeah.
Like if that animatronics bit me, that's leg gone. You know what I mean?
And even
So
the rock bite, I mean, you get really emotional by the rock bite, especially at the end when he's like, they look like strong hands. Like, you know, you can say like, don't they look like
ugh,
that? And it was so emotional, and I'm just like, wow, you really get me to feel this big rock guy who I've seen in two scenes basically. Like, how are you doing this? Again, with Artax was another that was the example I
yeah.
gave before that. How are you doing this with one or two scenes? Like, I don't even know this character, and you already you giving it to me in two scenes. It's absolutely amazing. Like, get me
I
emotional
think
about it.
I think what they had with movies back then was time. These movies took 3 to 5 years to make, where now we're making movies in 6 months, 90 days. I think what some like some blockbuster movies have been done in 90 days, bro. So, and then and when you're doing a movie like that and you've got 800 characters in there to show love. And I know recently we saw something and it was like Godzilla and Kong. Like, concentrate on those two. Allow the human elements because you've just added exposition that is not needed, and I don't care for them. So if you're going to do something like this where you've given everybody enough time and screen time to understand the story and how it's going to elevate the story in some sort of way, then what they did back then was because they had time, bro. And I hope movie making magic can go back to that element where production of a year or two went through. I mean, look, Batman Begins is a clear example of what Christopher Nolan did. Was like, I want everything to feel tangible, bro. I want his gadgets to be tangible so that people can use it and feel the touch of it. When he built Gotham, he had sets built as Gotham. So it's like he's really put that time and element into it because it's physically doable. So why not? I mean, and a lot of studios don't want to take that route because it costs too much. But then I just feel like you end up making a really good movie in the process. And Neverending Story is one of those movies. And again, like I watched it with Idris growing up. I will watch it with Alara. Alara will understand it a little bit more now. But as you said, bro, I think it's a great thing what you said, bro. It was for him was his therapy session and his imagination and his way of grieving for the loss of his mother and that connection with his father as well, which grows even more into, the second part with Sebastian and his journey. So damn, yeah, you know what?
Yeah. And a
I'll
lot of it
watch
was
that.
about
Yeah,
overcoming fear.
fear.
There was, because you see in number two that he was overcoming the fear of being swimming. Remember, he stopped swimming team and all that sort of stuff of water and everything. Like a lot of it was just this journey of overcoming the fear. And Atreus kind of being that brave warrior was him basically, and trying to
Mm.
overcome the fear of just doing things or losing and stuff like that. So there was so much, there's so much to this movie that again, watching it as an adult now, just you can reflect on it so much differently. And again, still enjoy it for an amazing movie. I mean, I can't fault this movie. Maybe I'm being biased because I grew up with it, but even the soundtrack, I remember Stranger Things brought back the soundtrack, which was just awesome, just brings you so much memories and whatnot. But watching this movie is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen this movie, I mean, if you're from the 80s, I recommend it. But even if you're an adult, go back and watch it. You've got to give it a chance. I think the problem is with the generation now is harder because of the animation or real life props and all that stuff. It's harder for them to see that and appreciate that. Whereas I think I can see it and be like, that's amazing. Whereas nowadays, if it doesn't look amazing on CGI and doesn't look real like that, CGI wise, it's like, oh my God, look at this. It looks so fake. And I think that's what might be a problem. Like, it goes to show what you said, bro. Like these days, as we know, like the generation as we know is patient. We don't have patience anymore. Everything
No, because they want everything so quickly.
yeah, I mean,
It takes
even
it
the
away.
world, it changed. And we have technology at the end of our fingertips. We have information at the end of our fingertips on our phones and everything. We have no patience at all. So I think the movie making world is obviously adapted to that, philosophy or that way of living with no patience, which is why they're just kind of getting projects out. I mean, think about it, bro. We see pictures of Punisher on set now. That show's coming out next year. We would have had to wait a couple years for seeing a picture on set. Well, we never used to see a picture on set, but just knowing that film might come out till a couple years later. They film it, shoot it, edit it, and release it immediately. So yeah, no, I mean, I think timing's got a lot to do with the patience. We don't have that anymore. And Neverending Story and all those old 80s movies, they're good because they made with time. But yeah, brilliant movie, man. So good.
No, listen, absolutely awesome.
Anything else?
No, that was it, bro. Listen, that was a great pick to watch. I got to run, bro. So yeah,
Cool.
listen,
Awesome.
let's yeah.
Just a heads
Go.
up, next week we'll try and figure out, but from Uzbekistan. I want to do it still, but I love doing the podcast from different countries. So let's communicate and try and do it. But I don't know if you have the time to do clips or whatnot, but do what you gotta do anyway, bro.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But if we can't connect next week, I guess it'll be the week after. But I want to try and do it because it's always memories when I do it from a different country as well. So we'll try and connect and make it happen.
No, definitely. That'd be cool. Listen, massive thank you again for the support on the channels, guys. I know we do, but we need your support even more now. And we don't usually ask for that, but share the content, like the content, comment on the content. It's always nice to get your feedback on it. I know you guys show a lot of love on the socials. Show some love here on the YouTube page, guys. Also, we are on all other streaming platforms, guys, and we started to bring the clips back. So thank you for the support on those clips. A lot of people do like the clips, so we'll continue doing some more clips. Hopefully, I get some more done this week, but we'll go from there. But other than that, guys, massive thank you, G-Man. As always, bro, good. Apologies on the distraction, guys. Multitasking is for real now, and with two of them now, it's elevated the workload completely. So bear with us. I know I am posting stuff late and the rest of it, but we're still getting the content out there. So hope you guys enjoy what you the content that we give out there. But yeah. All right, we'll wrap up, bro. Have a good one,
All right.
guys. G-Man,
Peace.
safe.
Peace.